Another fun-filled week. What are we gonna talk about? Let's see. Oh, Google. I guess this is probably good timing. Google launched their Gemini 3, which is their newest and most advanced model. They always say the same thing about every new model. It's the exact same wording, positioning. I'm like, come on. It's the most advanced model yet. It's like, come on, guys. I know we can do better. And then I guess we can't not talk about Nvidia. Basically, the weight of the world hanging on Nvidia's earnings this week. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And yeah, there you go. I think pretty sure that'll be a lot of fun-filled topic right there.
Yeah, the market was crazy. But tell us about Googleverse.
So Google launched their newest Gemini 3 model. I think the confidence here is they basically released it on day one, meaning if you paid for it, you have immediate access to Gemini 3 in search. And on top of, I want to say I didn't actually look into this, but I think part of that is Banana. Google's video generation thing also got a huge launch and update, and that's what I've seen most people talk about. Specifically, the Banana. See, they should be more creative like that. Banana
The
is just,
banana.
it's just interesting. That's what people talk about it, right? But yeah, apparently it's got better, what's the word for it? I'm going to say multi-spatial because kind of what I associated with is typically AI at the moment, or Gen AI, doesn't have good awareness of dimensions, like how things should go together. I think one person, it was like a joke, Sundar tweeted or posted or something, but basically a hamburger, if you think about how you layer a hamburger together, Gen AI has no concept of what should go where. So like, is it the cheese first? Is the patty first? The tomatoes, lettuce? But with this new update, Gemini 3 and subsequent stuff, it's able to know how things should go together. So you see a lot of examples of people saying like, explain what tokenization is, and it's able to fully map out and show you an image of what that looks like, and it actually makes sense. So I think that's kind of like my biggest thing about Gemini 3. It's got more awareness. It's able to reason at a more human level, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Well,
anyways,
I,
so
I saw in Instagram what popped up in my feed was this image of all the tech CEOs. Have you seen this one? It's like
uh-huh.
Zuck, Sundar, Elon, Jeff Bezos, and it's like bros hanging out, just like generated AI photo hanging
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
It was like 3 or 4 photos. First was like just hanging out outside by the car,
Uh-huh.
Elon smoking a cigar, and then the next one was like them at a party.
Mhm.
Next one was like them at a club, and like Bezos is smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
But the reason why I bring it up is because it popped up in my feed, and it was actually really good.
Yeah. No, it's getting a bit scary how good these
Yeah.
AI models are
Well,
moving forward.
and there was no tag or annotation that it was AI. It was from an AI specific Instagram account,
Yeah.
but it's like, especially the first photo where they're just like, or there's like this photo they're just walking on the street together.
Yeah.
I was like, that could be a legit scene.
Yeah. So it's getting really hard to distinguish. And so like this is a step above. And I know it'll get even more difficult.
Yeah.
It's like like some other things I've seen, and this has kind of been ongoing, but I think it's going to be even more like, is that real or not? Where they're basically using Banana to superimpose themselves, change gender,
Mm-hmm.
and then basically, blogging as a woman seems to be the thing right now. And it's you just like you're like, is that a real person or is this some dude pretending? Every
Yeah.
gamer's nightmare, right?
Which already happens in
Yeah, which happens.
the
Yeah. So I think to me that was like the standout thing, and of course, one of the other things they talk about was being able to, vibe code and how that's improved. I haven't tested it out because I'm just not a huge coder, or not a huge vibe coder at the moment. But I've read some people compare it to Claude, and they still say Claude is better. So I don't know.
I was hearing other things that Gemini seems to be more favored by devs now.
Not really.
Or maybe it's just this new.
I mean, it could be maybe, I'm sure people haven't had enough time to put it through its paces, but I'm sure it's got something up its sleeve.
Yeah. Google when ChatGPT was first launched, if you remember, Sundar, the whole thing was like the code red, right? This could
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
existential to Google's
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
And I think since then they've actually done a good job in keeping up. And now I think it's Gemini, and
Yeah.
Gemini is quickly catching up to ChatGPT.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so this is why, we've been talking about Google a number of times, and they've got everything that's needed
Hmm.
to be a dominator.
Yeah.
Now they just need to change things culturally and go faster,
Yeah.
break things maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think without, ChatGPT, they probably wouldn't be where they are right now, to be
Yeah.
frank, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
It was like a lot of light under the butt, right?
Yeah, they would have just plodded along, and maybe 5 years from now, we would have seen Gemini 1, not 3. But yeah, so a lot of things changing, I think, just in Silicon Valley overall, also.
What's
I don't know.
Google's like? Do you know? Because Amazon, their whole thing they're known for is like day one.
Mhm.
Today is day one.
Yeah,
Does Google have a similar thing?
question. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm sure some old OG Googler has something, but I think it's probably changed over time,
Okay.
right? Yeah. Like Google has always been about like experimentation, not necessarily a day one type thing, but tinkering, always trying something new, doing stuff that other people aren't doing, basically. I mean, if you look at like their bets and stuff that they've done in the past, right, there'd always be something like out there. Like, how do they solve
Yeah.
like actual world problems? Not necessarily how do they solve like search problems. Yes, they're solving search, but you know what I mean? It's more like the think big mindset. And I think that's how I would describe it. It's more like think big. It's like
So,
day one, everything's like day one. It's like, all right, well, and the meta is like, oh, break things fast. But Google's more like, how do we improve humanity?
so then the way Google had needs to change it is, what is it? He said, think big or do things no one else is doing.
Yeah, yeah,
So they need to change it to launch things that no one else is
yeah.
doing and do big, because
Yeah,
you can only go so far if you're only thinking about it.
that's true. Maybe that's the mindset change that they've been pushing the past couple of years, right?
Yeah.
How do we not just think about it, but actually execute on things?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and the stock prices definitely, and they're being rewarded through their stock price. All-time highs, 300s, the huge level, of course. I didn't realize this, but Google's like up like 50% on the year about.
How did
Man,
you not realize it? Isn't that like your biggest portfolio
it
position?
is, but like I said, I've been trimming every time it hits an all-time high. Maybe I should stop trimming and just write out the rest and buy in on dips, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, that's a good segue into kind of what we really want to talk about, the market this week, which was
Man,
a crazy market. Everyone was waiting for Nvidia earnings on, when was that? Wednesday after hours.
Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday after hours.
And so the week started like kind of selling off. So like, basically people trimming just
Yeah,
to get
not
ready for.
kinda. It was getting a continuation of last
Oh,
Friday.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Um, so it kept coming down, but then I think going into end of Tuesday into Wednesday, it started to bump up a little bit.
a little bit. The earnings run up is what I call
Mhm.
it.
And Nvidia reported earnings. They beat, no surprise there, which is probably why things happen, because no surprise, but also a huge surprise. The recap is revenue 57 billion, up 62% year over year, 22% quarter over quarter. EPS was 1.30 per share, beating the 1.26 expected.
Mhm,
Their data center segment made up 151.2 billion,
mhm.
which is,
Yeah,
and their guidance for Q4, in Jensen's words, is like going to be, he had a quote
yeah,
in Jensen's word was off the charts.
yeah.
So they have high demand for their chips. So they beat both top line and bottom line above consensus, driven by strong AI data center demand.
Hmm.
Jensen called the demand for their Blackwell architecture, which is their new chip,
Yep.
really good. And there's a lot of orders. And they forecast a really strong Q4. And what happened with the stock is it went up about 6-7% overnight into the next day.
Hmm.
But then towards the end of the next day on Thursday, quickly started to sell off.
Yeah, they were basically collapsed and took the entire market down with it. So it's like, yeah, it's like during earnings, what was it? A couple of things that people were calling out. So the cheerleaders, right, is Jensen came up and said, like his fourth quarter expectations, he blew it out of the park or whatever you
Off the
just
charts.
said, off the charts. And I think he like there was some estimate, it was like 65, 63 billion was like the top end of analysts, and he's like, no, we're gonna do better than that. And they added on like 3 billion. So I think people like, oh, see, there's no AI bubble going on. And then the other half was, well, like if you look, like 60% of the revenue is coming from like 4 companies, right? They didn't list out the companies.
Meta,
It's
Microsoft, Google.
basically, yeah, it's company A, B, C, D, and people were like, and it gave the percentage of what part of the business was, and people matched it to kind of like um, what those hyperscalers had talked about their capex, and it's like Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and were the top four, right? So people were just saying, well, 60%, if 60% of your revenue is coming from 4 customers, you've got a problem,
You're
right?
too reliant.
Yeah, too reliant. And those companies have been talking about scaling back, or they're not even sure if they need to spend this much. Like I think Zuckerberg was saying that, right? But anyways, so yeah, so a lot of things, but I don't think that was the only thing. There's other macro things that happened as the market tanked too. I think one of the Fed people came out, no, I don't think we're going to cut interest rates this year.
Yeah.
We don't need to, and that just set everything off.
What do you think? You think they're still going to cut interest rates?
I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's like nobody knows now. It's like, what was it you mentioned? No CPI is going to be reported for October. No BLS data because it's like it's too late. We can't get information, and it's like, okay, first time in uh, ever or years, decades that they haven't reported a month. So that's not. It's just not a good look, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Market just really doesn't know what to do right now. I mean,
It,
Tesla, you bought your Tesla,
my one
went up.
share.
Man, Tesla's, my biggest position and it goes up and down. And I mean, it went from 430-ish all the way down to 368, all the way back up to
Yeah,
420, all the way back down to
yeah,
395.
barely at 4 right
It's
now.
crazy.
I talked about an episode or two ago, so I finally opened some starter positions on Meta and Microsoft after those earning reports. Yeah, and they're overall down like 10, 11% still, even with all this crazy up and
Yeah.
down, right? And so it's just not, the market is looking great at the moment.
Yeah. I think once December comes around and the government and Fed's back on track, things will
Yeah.
start to get more stabilized. Santa Claus rally should provide something.
I'm wondering, everybody's like banking on it, right? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Santa Claus rally, that's gonna send us back to all-time highs and such. I'm like, maybe he
Yeah.
won't. Like November is supposed to be an up month too. But I mean, it's looking like it's not going to be a great month. I mean, we'll see next week, but next week's also holiday week. And so it's going to be low volume.
Yep.
Maybe they use that as a way to pump the market. We'll see.
All you can do is be confident in your future investments, think longer term,
Yeah.
DCA.
Yeah.
Speaking of the holiday and what we talked about last week, crypto was another one that just completely tanked during this market. What are you doing with crypto?
Oh, those BMNR Bitmine holders, world of hurt, man.
Think Bitcoin got below what, 82,000?
I don't think, did it actually touch that? I don't have it up. I was looking at it this morning though, and it was down. It was like almost low, 84. Bitcoin, I think, was at 84 at the moment.
Well, yeah, the lowest it hit this week
Mm-hmm.
was 80,567.
Yeah. It's not doing too well though. It looks like it's gonna tap that again. It's like 84. Yeah, it's about 84 and a half right now. So yeah, I'm gonna be out of the crypto game for the moment just to see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yep.
No, except for my Cardano, but I was just like, yeah, it's like super small, and so like if it went to 0, I wouldn't feel bad about it. But if it
Yeah.
went to like $3, I would feel fine.
I've been starting to come back in, mostly just
So
Ethereum.
yeah, maybe if Solana hit 100, I might buy a little bit just because. But yeah, Yeah, I think really the chatter on X is people kept pumping it for the entire week. Like, now's your chance, generational, to get in. It's like if you wanted to buy Bitcoin at 100, now it's, 15% down. As you're trying to buy. It's like it was like so bad. That's like I finally blocked keywords
Yeah.
like BTC, ETH, just because it's kind of annoying. It's like you guys are hopium right now. But I'll be interested to see because I know a lot of people were FOMOing in on like the treasury companies, right? And so they're all underwater by like whatever, 30, 50%.
They're going to be loading back in.
Maybe it makes it come back. Maybe it doesn't. What I think is institutions, and I know I've said this, they are not going to hold down 80%, right? They are going to, if it goes that much further, they're going to start to cut and it's just going to accelerate.
Yeah.
Like Bitmine, there's only so much ETH it could buy, not enough to support the entire market. And strategy is getting there too. I think people kept, what is it, 78, 75,000 is kind of like the break point for when that company is below water. We'll see. Maybe institutions decide to save it, but
Yeah.
so we'll see.
There's a related this. I think there was like news around Michael Burry.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear that news about, I think he like got out of his positions, but then also, let me look it up real quick.
Do you mean him closing his fund?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's basically said, yeah, I'm closing my fund, giving back money. And I think the gist of it was he's just like, he's notorious for, being bearish or,
Mhm.
in companies. And I think he basically said like, kind of what I've been saying is like the market makes no sense. It's not really following any fundamentals. And so it makes his thesis impossible to follow through with, right? Because there's just no logic to it.
Yeah.
And so he quit. Well, and no. He closed his
Because it's
fund,
fun.
but his personal family investments, he is still in, right? Like
Yeah.
he can let it ride out a lot longer than he could with his funds. And
Yeah.
he's probably not doing too bad either. Like Palantir was one of his biggest callouts, and that's down like 140, 150 at this point from its high of like 200. News came out that Karp, the CEO of Palantir, sold like $100 million worth of stock recently, which is like raises eyebrows. Karp was like, man, when he first heard Burries, he was like,
Yeah. But those are all scheduled.
I don't think this
Usually,
one was.
when executives sell stock, they need to schedule it in advance.
Yeah, I don't think this was like a planned schedule.
It has to be.
Can still sell off schedule though. They can file and say, yeah, I'm going to sell this at market. Bezos has done this. Alex Karp, sell shares, Palantir. His recent filing, this is part of Lon's kind of insider selling, total 2 billion sales over the past 2 years. So it's not a good look when he reams on Burry for shorting, and then he was like, oh, retail, don't believe this. Come invest in us, and he offloads 100 million.
Here's my question though about Michael Burry.
Mm-hmm.
If his general outlook is bearish,
Mm-hmm.
that's how he plays, right?
Yeah.
And that's how he manages his fund.
Yeah.
Why would he close the fund if he thinks the market is bearish?
Well, like he's kind of stated that is like the market dynamics is not aligning with how he views the market, right? And so his fund, because the fund holders expect a certain return, he's not able to let his thesis play out without.
Basically, the market is not following what he thinks it should be doing.
Yeah. My interpretation of
Yeah.
his tweet or his letter that he put
So
out.
he can't adapt, and it's probably a little bit stressful too.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't
He's
say
like,
he
"Get
was.
out."
Yeah, he didn't say he was wrong, but he was acknowledging that he's viewing the fundamentals and the market, that the market is just not rational, which I think if you talk with a lot of people, you probably say the same thing. It's like it makes no sense why we've been going up with these 50, 100% tariffs, et cetera, right? And then we've just been tapping all-time highs. Companies continue to lay off tens of thousands of folks. And if the economy is doing so great, why? Yet the record profit, you know what I mean? It's just like there's a lot of things that don't make sense.
Hmm.
Uh, even this week, ADP number and such, it's just like it was kind of mixed signals. It's like job claims are kind of up, but layoffs kind of down. It's just like these mixed signals. It's just like,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Okay. Well, just be safe out there, everyone. So like we said, I think November has to close red as a monthly. We've had, I think, 4 or 5 months of green.
Hmm.
It's good to get a red month. Hopefully that doesn't continue the same trend into December. But I think it's good for the market to have a bit of relief of bullish activity.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it go down a little more just to have that big dip buying opportunity.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe this is the dip.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this one up. We're not financial advisors, so don't take our advice. We're just telling you what we do.
Yeah, we're just two random people on the internet talking about how we use stocks. So.
But we do look at it every day. So we got some cred.
So, yeah.
And we'll come back for episode 86 next week.
86. Yeah. All right.
Bye.
See ya.